This is Get Real with Bob and Stacy, the show that helps you learn about the mortgage and real estate markets. Get the inside scoop from their expert list of guests and have some fun along the way. Now, here's Bob Gallagher and Stacy Alcorn.
Welcome back. You're listening to Get Real with Bob and Stacy. Real people, real issues, and real estate. Stacy, welcome back to another fun-filled show. How you doing?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Good. And we've got a special guest in the studio with us today, Matthew Peabody of Lair Realty. You're the social media director and a realtor. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the real estate market out there. Matt, what markets do you cover?
Southern New Hampshire and all of Massachusetts.
And how is Southern New Hampshire compared to Massachusetts? Are prices picking up there too?
I would say they're on the same path right now. They're about the same, but in Massachusetts, prices are picking up.
Yeah. And how about inventory? You still having problems in Southern New Hampshire like we are in Mass?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think part of it too is the time of year. The vacation season just ended. The kids are going back to school, so I think we're going to see a transition, and it's going to pick up a little again.
Good. And what kind of clients do you normally deal with? Do you specialize in first-time buyers, move-up buyers, or you kind of work with everybody?
I work with everybody, new construction too.
Really?
Yep.
What are you seeing for new construction out there?
Well, it's a little slow right now once again because I think the time of year, but it's starting to pick up again. We're getting more action at our open houses on the weekends and stuff. So
that's good.
Yep.
What price points do you have for new construction?
Between $400,000 and $600,000.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, is that in Southern New Hampshire or also Massachusetts?
This is in Drake, Mass.
Drake. Yep.
Now,
Drake, it's a little hard to get to from 495, isn't it? Is it off of Route 3? I'm not real familiar with Drake.
It's really hard to get to.
Yes,
from everywhere?
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Because you have to get over a bridge. You can get there from 93 through, like, Methuen.
Yeah. But it's close to the New Hampshire shopping, tax-free.
That's a good point.
Yep. So...
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of paying taxes. Nobody on the show is a big fan of paying taxes.
Yep.
That's good to know. So where do you think the real estate market's going to go for the fall, Matt?
I think we're going to see a little pickup with it, and then after the fall, I'm not really sure. Can't say.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about Matt is he's a real estate agent, I actually am not joking, he's been in the business since he was 6.
Really?
That is true.
That should be in your bio.
That should be in my bio, I know.
Seriously. We worked with his grandmother for a long time, who was a well-known name in the industry, and literally he grew up in the real estate business. What's really interesting about Matt, so even though he's in his 20s, he's got like tons of experience. But what's really cool is the social media piece of it, because he sells real estate and markets real estate different than most real estate agents do, using like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I didn't even know what Twitter was until you made me get an account a few months ago.
Yep. It actually helps a lot. I mean, everyone's on those social media sites now and get a lot of action and leads from it.
Really?
Yep.
So how do you, and you don't have to share all your trade secrets, but how do you get the word out on Twitter about listings? Is it really just the people that follow you, letting them know what you're doing?
Well, you try and let your followers know, build the follower base, but you also use hashtags and things like that. Like you hashtag the town name and stuff like that, and it picks more people up that way.
I'm glad you brought that up because Stacy and I were talking about this on the show last week, and I seem to have a problem with hashtagging.
Yes.
I just can't really grasp it. The only hashtag I put out so far is hashtag awesome. That's all I can come up with.
Yeah.
Is that a hashtag?
Well, it is. So there's like 2 different ways to hashtag. There's hashtags that people actually search under, like the town names and certain other ones. And then there's some that people do just for fun to throw it at the end of a post.
I see.
So, yeah.
So awesome would be just for fun.
That would be just for fun, yeah.
All right, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Can you help Bob? He gets literally millions of Twitter requests because of this show.
Literally.
Billions.
Literally.
Yes.
Billions.
And he's really not using Twitter to its fullest. How could he better use Twitter and engage with his followers?
Well, to start with, use it more.
So don't just use it as a means of contacting my co-host.
Yes, exactly.
He uses it like email with me.
Yeah.
I do, but you know what? It's the one medium you actually respond to quickly.
Right. And you know what? A lot of people, it's the same way. They respond quickly on Twitter. So.
Maybe it's because we get like 5 billion emails.
Oh, yeah.
But I only get one
Tweet.
tweet.
You're like, oh, I'll respond to that real quick.
Yes.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna start. I won't abuse it though, because then
Yeah.
it'll just be one more thing that falls
and
into
then
the background.
and then
Yeah.
the world can follow our conversations.
Right. Right.
We've
even
had some
better.
pretty good ones.
Yes.
I liked the way you started. This was a few months ago, but I started off with all the reasons you love me, and I think you only got to 6. I've been waiting for the other 300.
I forgot about it.
And
Oh my
the
God.
4 through 6 were real stretches too.
Wow. Wow.
But getting back to real estate, Matt, why don't you tell us how you actually get into the business?
Well, like we said, my grandmother. So right when I was 18, I took the real estate classes and passed the test and got my license. So I've been licensed for 5 years now.
Good for you.
Yep. Yep.
It's a heck of a business, and this is something else we've talked about on the show, is that the average age of real estate agents out there, it's time for the
Yes.
next generation to come in. So it's good to see some younger people getting into it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about, we mentioned using Facebook to market properties too.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Give us-
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Instagram.
I'd love
Are
to
you-
hear about
are
Instagram.
you
I don't
on
even know what that
Instagram?
is. No.
Oh.
You got to get on Instagram. That's number 1 right now, in my opinion.
He got
Really?
me on
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
I'm not using it properly yet.
I actually
Not
saw
quite,
it, but
but
I
she's
only
doing
saw
good.
it on Facebook. I saw a picture of you and your daughter, and I was like, oh, that's what Instagram
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Well, when I got here today, I Instagrammed.
Yep. So Facebook owns Instagram. So if you Instagram, they tend to make those posts show up more on the sites.
I see.
Yep.
So we should be Instagramming every time we record.
Yes.
Instagram first, share it to Facebook.
And
I
Twitter.
see.
Yeah, and Twitter. Yep.
I see. So and that's what you would do for your real estate clients as
right.
well.
Listings, everything that has to do with that. And I get a lot of likes. People see it.
Mm-hmm.
People comment. People who are interested in it obviously send a message and ask more questions about it.
Nice.
And then a showing happens. And you sell it.
And you have to hashtag.
You have to hashtag.
See, the
Unfortunately.
hashtag,
You
if I was a
gotta
real estate
hashtag.
agent and I had to make my living on hashtags,
You got to
I would be
hashtag.
starving right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would be. Why don't we talk a little bit about your position as director of social media for Lair Real Estate
Well,
or Lair Realty Partners?
Mm-hmm.
It's been great for the past over a year now, and we've spread the message of Lair pretty well. I would say mostly because of posting on social media. It's gotten the message out there. Everyone shares the stuff. We post informational real estate posts that everyone shares and like to read, and I do all that stuff for them.
I love the ones every time you hire a new agent.
Yes.
It's the
Yep.
lion with
On the
"Here we
grow."
grow on the grow
Yes.
on the grow.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's pretty much all your Lair Realty feed is now is
Yeah.
basically just
Yeah.
everybody joining.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like snowballing because
Yeah.
that's not how it's meant to be. We want to share all kinds of stuff.
Oh,
but
tons of people have joined. I mean, I got a call
nuts.
last week to see if we could cover an open house. Actually, no, not last week. This week, and I wasn't familiar with the agents, and it was because you guys just had them join and
Yes.
opened up a new office
Yes.
in Concord.
Concord. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so congratulations on that. Now, how many offices does that bring you guys up to?
21 maybe.
I think it's
Or
21,
22.
maybe 22 actually now. Yeah.
It's fun
But-
losing count.
It's
though,
fun
isn't it?
losing
Yes.
count.
I remember when I had like 10 agents. Never mind 22 offices.
Yeah.
But what's awesome about Concord is when we go into a new market, we reach out to all of the real estate agents. One of the things that's different with Lair is we only bring on experienced agents. So going into a new market, we call who we consider the best of the best within the marketplace. And so about 6 months ago, Andy, my partner, and I started calling throughout the Concord marketplace, and there was a huge need for a new real estate face. And so our first 5 or so agents joined this week, and we have about another 16 or 17 committed over the next 3 months.
Wow. That makes you a force in that marketplace,
Absolutely.
doesn't
Yeah, we will have market share fairly quickly in Concord.
it? Wow. And what a great place to have market share, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I live in Littleton, which is a couple towns away, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah. What's the closest office to Littleton?
Westford.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you guys were in Westford, too. So you guys have offices everywhere. You
Yeah.
guys are everywhere.
We are everywhere.
We are.
I actually got a call last week from somebody that we know on radio asking me if you guys were opening up an office in Medford, I believe. I assume it's.
I
mean,
never
every time
say
somebody,
no.
Yeah, every time somebody asks me, it's,
Yes.
I just assume it's because you guys were about to do it.
Yeah.
So that's good. Congratulations on all the growth.
Thanks.
It's really good to see. So why don't we talk a little bit about the market at large, Stacey? We asked Matt what he thought was going to happen later on this year, or the fall market. What are your predictions?
It is nuts right now. The market's still very busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it's slowed down significantly from the spring market, which is typical in our business. Things just slow down September, October. But we're expecting one of the strongest fall and winter markets we've seen in a decade.
I was going to say the same thing. Based on, we talked about this last week, and it seems like outside 495 slowed down quite a bit during the summer. Inside 495, and especially inside 128, stayed pretty busy. We're seeing pretty much everywhere, though, the last week and a half. It seems like people are just coming out of the woodwork. People that have been waiting the last couple of months
Absolutely.
Just decided they want to buy now.
Yep, the market is just crazy right now. And it's a great time to buy still.
Yep.
In most areas. I actually think it's a better time to buy now than in the spring market because you're not seeing the crazy bidding wars.
Right.
You'll have to pay fair market value, but you're not looking at paying over fair market value, which we've seen for the last 6 months.
Right. Now, I'll put this question out to both of you. If you're a first-time buyer, where do you recommend people start? Towns. Because it's getting tough. I mean, you pretty much rule out 128 into Boston.
I kind of love Leominster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Leominster's good.
I think you can get to Boston in, 45 minutes from Leominster, and the prices are great.
I lived in Leominster for 10 years. Yeah. Well, 9 years.
I don't know. I kind of like Leominster. Drake still very hot. Yeah. I am impartial to Lowell. I lived in Lowell. I think Lowell has a lot going for it, and there's still some great deals in Lowell if you like city living.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and Lowell's got a lot of upscale section. Well, the upscale section would be Belvedere?
Yeah.
Is that still the place to go if you want to?
Yep. So I lived in Lower Belvedere in Lowell, right along Route 38, and I loved it. I lived there for 6 or 7 years, and right behind me there was these awesome cemeteries, so I'd use them as running trails, and there's so many great restaurants, great nightlife in Lowell. I'm a fan of Lowell.
How long ago did you live in Lowell?
I moved to Littleton 5 years ago, and I came from Lowell.
And I did the open houses at her house when it was for sale.
Yes.
Really?
So, yeah, that's when I first got my own license.
Wow.
Yep.
And how was it? Was it as nice as she says?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Belvedere's it's always been a nice section.
Yeah.
Even
No, it is nice. It's really nice there.
Yeah, that's good.
I'd say 90% of Lowell is nice. There's some tougher sections, but most of Lowell has been redone. The downtown area and the condos down there and lofts, it's just awesome.
And
I
the
was
colleges.
shocked. Yeah.
The college.
Yeah.
They're
Around the
expanding
college.
a lot.
Yeah.
And they're making Lowell look nicer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, it was good to see, especially with the Spinners ballpark is.
Yep.
That's a beautiful area now.
Yep.
Where are you from, Matt?
Londonderry, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. So Londonderry and Tingsboro, my whole life, both towns.
Really?
Divorced parents.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got the Mass and the New Hampshire going all the time.
I was really hoping that was going to segue into you being from Peabody since your last name was
Oh,
Peabody.
everyone thinks that.
It didn't go there.
Everyone thinks that, and I have New Hampshire plates now with my last name Peabody on there, and everyone thinks I'm from Peabody because it's on there. Yeah.
That's good. That's Tingsboro's also. That's over near Drake, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. Yeah, I have some friends that lived in Tingsboro. Now that's a little bit easier to get to highway wise, right?
It actually on us, it's kind of
Route
divided
3.
in half. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Right off Route 3 on the border of Nashua.
Yep.
Good.
Because I lived in Tingsboro, too. When I lived in Tingsboro, you do all your food shopping. Everything is in Nashua.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's like living in Nashua. but
Yeah.
you're
I
in
like
Nash.
Nashua.
Yeah, me too.
I used to go up there a fair amount.
Yeah.
Back in
There's
the day.
a lot to do in Nashua.
Yeah. That's actually when I bought my first house. I actually lived in Lawrence. I never told anybody that. I told them it was just really, really Eastern Andover.
Yep.
Eastern Andover.
Yeah. But I actually used to go to Nashua for pretty much everything.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
why drive into
Absolutely.
Boston and pay higher prices? So
All right.
that's good. So why don't we talk about some interesting stories? If you guys want to share what you do for buyers and sellers, why don't we talk a little bit about first time buyer that's just looking to get into the market? Where do you have them start?
Mortgage. We have them call you first.
Mortgage. How about that?
Back
I did not
to you.
see that going to
Back to
mortgages
you.
at all.
Very first thing.
So, and we should probably mention that it is very, very important that you get pre-approved because you heard it right here from two great real estate agents at Lair Realty Partners. You really don't want to be showing people property until they've got a pre-approval.
Right.
Can you elaborate a little bit on why that is?
Well, I could say an example would be if a buyer goes out and is not pre-approved and they're find a house that they love and someone else is actually wanting to put an offer in on it, they'll probably lose out because they don't have the pre-approval right away.
Right.
So
That's a very good point.
yeah.
And one of the other things we've seen happen, too, is that people like to do their own calculations the first time around and think they can afford a certain price.
Right. That's the
Yes.
other part.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is fall in love with a $300,000 house and find out you only qualify for $200,000.
Exactly. That's a big thing, too.
Everything you look at in the
Yes.
$200,000 range is going to seem pretty bad compared to the $300,000
Or
range.
people like through Google, they'll figure out their principal and interest and not realize there's mortgage insurance, taxes,
Right.
and the payments $600 more than what they thought it was.
Yeah. Or the brand new car you just bought is
Yes.
also going to be an issue.
Yes.
Right.
$1,500 a month in
Yes.
student loans.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of legwork to do up front, but once you've gotten pre-qualified, what's the next step?
Well, getting to know exactly what they want to buy and probably sending them some things from MLS and going to see the houses.
Good. And I like to ask real estate agents, and not to put you on the spot, but when you're looking at first-time home buyers, which way do you tend to advise people? Single family or condo, or does it depend on what they're looking for?
I say 2 families.
Really?
I tell people that if you buy a 2-family first, you get the rental income from the second unit. You can use financing like FHA, which is a lower down payment. And then down the road, you can go buy your single family. So buy your 2-family, then 3 years from now or 2 years from now, go buy your single family. Keep your 2-family so that you have rental income coming in for the 2 units. The reason for that is most people do it the other way around. They buy their single family residence. Then 3 years into it, they say, I want to own a 2-family or a 3-family. And then what happens? You got to put 20 or 30% down as an investor. So buy your multifamily first as an owner occupied, stay there for a couple of years. You can get in with a low down payment and then go for your single family.
That's really, really good advice. We're actually going to stop here for a break. We'll be back with more Get Real with Bob and Stacy after these messages.